Welcome to CPG Vibes. No scripts,
just chat.
I'm Alex Baer.
And I'm Wade Yenny.
Each episode is recorded live, and we talk all things food and beverage, and so much more.
Feel our vibe and search for CPG Vibes on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and make sure to give us a 5-star review.
If you'd like to sponsor our show with your product or service, email us at cpgvibes100@gmail.com.
Now, let's vibe.
All right. Welcome to episode 146. Get the background there. There we go. Of CPG Vibes. How's everyone doing? We're on a fabulous Friday here, kind of coasting into the holidays. We're 2 weeks away, actually less than 2 weeks, right, from Christmas. Wade, how's it going, buddy?
I'm doing great. It's Friday the 13th, but we're having a good day nonetheless. We just wrapped up V-Driven Masterclass on Sprouts, which I'm sure we're going to talk a little bit about here today, but it's good to be here and good to see everybody. I'm fired up today, Alex.
Awesome. Good to hear that. Yeah, it's the weather's not great out here. A lot of clouds, very cold. It's literally, I think, about 40 degrees, 45 degrees in the morning, which is very low for LA. But we're fighting through it. We're in like 4 layers out there, so that's what we got to do.
Right. Well, I know we've got a lot to get into, but I have to say before we get too far into things, congratulations to my buddy Gavin, the father of twins, born yesterday, 1 boy, 1 girl. I know the proud papa is in the audience right now with one of said twins on his lap watching the show. He sent me a picture, which is fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
Gavin, congratulations. So happy for you, buddy.
Yeah, congrats, buddy. Saw the picture on the post you did earlier on LinkedIn where you're holding both, right? And so just amazing. I'm sure you're full of a lot of love just seeing your kids for the first time. So yesterday, this just happened.
Yes.
Wow.
Just yesterday. Yep.
How does he have time to post and do anything else? It's crazy.
He's dedicated to this show. He's dedicated.
Obviously, that makes us feel even better about what we're doing here. So a couple laundry list items, right, that we usually and always go through is number one, we are the number 1 rated CPG podcast in the world. Keep it that way and make sure to go to Apple Podcast and give us 5 stars. Super easy. You can Google it, Apple Podcast, or also go to Spotify, but we prefer Apple Podcast if possible. We're number 1, but not by much. So make sure to keep us there. Give us 5 stars. Also, we have sponsorship and block rates. You can email cpgvibes100@gmail.com. And we have some openings, I think, late January, also in February, starting at $350. So make sure to reach out to us for that. And then we also have our ongoing sponsor, and that is V-Driven. Range Me. But V-Driven's also, you're with V-Driven, so they feel like a sponsor, just force of habit. But Range Me, a little bit out of it today, as you can tell. Range Me is the smartest way to get your brand in front of thousands of retailers, experience always on brand exposure, exclusive buyer discovery opportunities, and access to proprietary insights, research, and resources. With over 15,000 buyers, Range Me ensures continuous exposure to retail buyers from top retailers like Target, Albertsons, Whole Foods, Sprouts, Publix, Kroger, Costco, Wegmans, H-E-B, Food Lion, Giant Foods, Fresh Market, and many, many more. There's a little link there on the bottom. You can copy and paste in your browser, rangeme.com/CPG Vibes. And also, Wade, we have exciting news. There is a winner of the Range Me contest from submitting on the form. And that is
Curtis.
Last name. I'm just trying to remember his last name, but I'm just going to say his first name. Curtis. With Lemonicious. Lemonicious. It's a delicious, as you can tell from the title, a fruit juice drink that has also lemon in it. And but either way, just congratulations to him. He's the winner and the proud owner of a premium subscription to Range Me. So congratulations, Curtis. So that shows you, if you listen to the show, good things happen. You get something out of it besides me and Wade blabbing for an hour. You get prizes out of it as well. So anyway, back to Range Me. They have ECRM category sessions. exclusive live in-person events where you can meet directly with leading national and regional retail buyers for curated face-to-face meetings. Ready to elevate your brand? Visit rangemeet.com/CPG-Vibes. You can get a discount of 30% on their premium, the one that Curtis won. And the Pro is $16.99 instead of $24.99. Be driven, love CPG Vibes. Hey, what's up, I call her Sasha, right? I met her as Sasha. That's her nickname, right? Alexandra, Sasha, Tomato. And congrats on the wedding with Luke. Good stuff. So congratulations to both of you. For those that have been reading up on LinkedIn about what's going on in their life. So couple other things. We have our backwall sponsors. So thank you, Melting Forest. Thank you, Ginger Labs. And also thank you, Feel Free, for sponsoring our backwall. And we have our YouTube channel. So that's youtube.com/@CPG Vibes. So make sure to check it out. And Wade's going to upload it the second that the show finishes. He has his dinner, clicks it, uploads it, done and done. Make sure you can watch us on there. Even though we have faces for radio, you can still watch us if you really want to. Okay.
We have our weekly sponsor.
And we have our weekly sponsor. Thank you for backing me up on this one. Again, a little out of it today. It's been a long week. Creative Kaiju. So we have Creative Kaiju. It's a free 7-day subscription. They can get it done whatever they want in that period. And what is Creative Kaiju? I read the wrong one. It's a design agency that offers unlimited graphic design as a monthly subscription. No contracts. It's the perfect pairing for a CPG brand looking to grow. Branding and design matters, especially for CPG brands. The average cost of a designer is $72,000. Agencies cost even more, and you're dealing with freelancers, which can be painful. Creative Kaiju offers unlimited in-house quality design for a flat monthly fee, perfect for a growing CPG brand. You get unlimited designs on their platform. And I use Creative Kaiju for my agency for Genius Dreams when designing the crowdfunding campaign pages. And they do unlimited revisions, unlimited designs. It's for a flat monthly fee. You get access to many different designers from around the world. And it's starting at $5.99 per month. You get access to a vetted design team, flat rate pricing, and fast turnaround without any contracts. So that is the weekly sponsor. We have our ongoing sponsor. We talked about Curtis winning. We got the YouTube. We got it all. So I think we can roll into our topic, right?
We can, Alex.
If
but
we want.
I know you say you're a little bit out of it today, so that's okay because that means you're not prepared, and I am. So
sounds like you are.
This is usually you giving me stuff, but check this out. Check what I got in the mail.
I did not get that.
Oh, okay. Hold on. It gets
better.
Where
are you at? Where are you at?
Oh, look at that.
The Joe. You got the Joe too.
Oh no, it gets better.
And you got the bars. You got all three. The trifecta.
No. Hold on. It gets better. This one is the big one, the gingerbread seasonal flavor. And I've got probably 3 more flavors of bars in there. I can't thank Will and his team enough for hooking me up. In full disclosure, he did ask for some input on something that I helped him with a little bit, and he graciously sent me. I expected gingerbread. I did not expect the box that I had to have. The local football team, Alex, helped me carry all this stuff in. So, because there was so much stuff, all these bars and the coffee and the drink mix, the variety pack, fabulous. So, Will, thank you so much. Great stuff. Now we can get started. I just had to show you that because I knew you didn't get those. So I know, that
Robin,
typically you're a little bit ahead of me, but
not today.
I feel like this week I'm a little bit ahead of you. So that's
today.
Okay.
Today, this is Wade's week and Wade's day. And that's, it's Friday the 13th, right? Which is a lucky day for you. So how ironic.
Exactly. Yeah.
Good stuff. So as soon as this episode ends, I'm going to be messaging, texting, emailing, blowing up Will Nitza. Where the hell is mine? Let me give you some advice, okay? Because I know Wade gave you some advice. If you're sending it to one co-host, you got to send it to the other.
There you go. The gingerbread one, though, is just absolutely fabulous. I don't know. It might be too late. If you slept on it, it's too late. But so we got some topics to talk about today. And I don't know, Alex, where did you want to go first?
I don't know. It's kind of bothering me that you got something and I didn't. I don't know if I can focus on the topics. I don't know about this.
I love this. This isn't anything. This is IQ. I mean, this is big. I don't think I'm going to have to buy a nutrition bar.
There's a reason. That you're clicking. Your brain is clicking.
I've had the coffee today. I've had the electrolytes, magnesium, adaptogens mix. Yeah, he really went above and beyond. So
People, you
that's
can see this is a true testament where I'm not on my game. Wade is on his game, and he's at IQ everything. That shows you right there all you
I've
need
had
to
the
know.
literally today. I've consumed everything. So yeah, but no, I think we wanted to talk a little bit about NOSH, the event we were at last week
Sure,
in
go
California. I
for it.
mean, first we talked a little bit about the V driven team. I know Luke posted, I posted. We had our quarterly leadership team meeting where we get together in person, which is just fabulous. You know, it's one thing to do the Zooms, which we do, and I'm probably the king of Zooms. I don't have a crown, but I'm the self proclaimed king of Zooms. But you know, there's something about being together in person, and so that was some great time that we met with Luke and Sasha, myself, and Brandon. And our teammate Sarah in advance of NOSH, and then we traveled up to the NOSH show. And you know, it's interesting what a difference a year makes, not just personally but professionally. You know, a year ago, I was attending that event on behalf of the Fresh Market, took buyer meetings, and actually had to cut off the meetings because my calendar was so booked, and I also served as one of the judges for the Pitch Slam last year. This year, it was a completely different experience. I mean, last year was fantastic, loved it. But I got to see it through a different lens this year. If you've never attended NOSH Live or BevNet or Brewbound, I think is the third in the trifecta of shows they do back to back to back. They put on such a fabulous show. I mean, the whole team, and I'm going to probably miss somebody, but Monica, Melissa, Ray Latif, obviously,
John Craven.
John, Mike. I mean, the whole crew is just fantastic work with, very professional. But what I like about that show, for me, last year again as a buyer, it was great being able to connect directly with all those emerging brands and talk to them about their products and everything. This year, what was cool from this lens was just, you know, being able to network in a different aspect, right? I got to talk, you know, potentially about how we might be able to work with brands via V Driven. Got to see my buddy Bilal, who it's been a while, and you know, Bilal gives the best hugs in the universe, and his mother. They were there, but just the quality of people that are there to learn and to network. There's a lot of investment opportunities, you know, not opportunities, but to network and to talk. They do a lot of seminars. Of course, they did the Pitch Slam, which Luke was one of the judges this year. And I don't know, Alex, if you're familiar, if you read who won, but the brand Mochi Love won.
I did see
Which,
that.
yeah,
It's like a frozen mochi dessert item, right?
it's not frozen. It's actually
Oh,
refrigerated, which makes it unique because all the other mochi brands typically are refrigerated. So this year, this I put the link in the comments there. This is a refrigerated product, which is new. You know, it's from a innovation standpoint. You can take that right out. You could eat it in your car if you wanted to. I'm not personally not a big mochi person, but everybody I talked to that is a mochi person absolutely raved and loved this brand. Obviously innovative, and they were the winner of the Pitch Slam, so it'll be interesting to see how they do. Last year's winner was Lentiful, and he was back this year. He attended the show, so obviously he felt some value in it. But yeah, I personally think, and I don't know, Alex, if I think you've attended those shows in the past, right?
I only attended the BevNet Live.
Okay.
So, and that was way back when I first started Genius Juice in 2014. Then I attended like kind of sporadically, like 17, 19. Then the pandemic hit and there was no show for like 2 years. But no, I've always been a fan of, you know, the kind of everything that BevNet offers, right? From NOSH, BevNet, Brewbound. Brewbound's newer. NOSH is a little newer, but BevNet Live is the original one. So, I just love, I love the networking side of it, how you can go in and out of the room. You can talk to people outside in the lobby. You can go in and they have expert panels talking about all the trends in CPG, food, beverage, supplement, health, and beauty. Yeah, it's a great show. And I mean, there's people there that are so utterly powerful, right? Like they're, you know, they're investors, they're buyers.
Wayne Wu was there.
Wayne Wu,
John
VMG,
John Ford. John was there. He was on a show
John
last week.
Forker. Yeah,
John was there. Jennifer Garner was there.
pretty
Yeah,
powerful.
just a powerful show. But again, I think what I like is it's much more approachable. It's from a standpoint of some of these bigger Expo, you know, without throwing shade, and I'm not by any means. Expo is completely different, and great show, but this one provides value with the connectivity. You have a chance, you as a founder have a chance to talk to other founders, like like very intimately and closely. And I saw a lot of that going on, a lot of sharing of information. There were some buyers there from Whole Foods, Giant. I think he had a category manager there, if I'm not mistaken. So opportunities to have, meetings with those people one-on-one in small rooms. You have to do that in advance. So yeah, I think it's great. It's a great opportunity, and I'm looking forward to going back next year. I think it's just so different than those other shows from a standpoint of the mindset behind it.
Yeah, everyone's just super, super connected, and like you get to really network with people. But also, if you're like a new brand, it's also awesome because you're like jumping in head first.
Right.
You got all these, investors, you got other brands, you can learn from them, you can talk with them. I mean, I remember, talking with like Olipop in the first couple of years when they were starting, like, wow, I learned so much from the co-founders that were there, talking with Chris Hunter, talking with people from Health Aid, that were there, the co-founders before they sold, Suja, Jeff Church. I met a lot of really valuable contacts there when I first started my business. So I think it gives an opportunity to the small guy to show up, not really know anyone, and make like really fruitful connections. And that's what I love about it. So whether you're really far along, whether you're brand new, no matter what, it's going to be a big value for you. And I think since the pandemic, the price ticket did go up quite a bit on these shows, right? Because they lost money for a couple of years. But I think it's like, but with V-Driven, are you guys going to be doing this again where you offer a discount?
Well,
Do you think that's
I
going to
was going to
happen
say,
again?
everybody will have to follow along and make sure you subscribe to our newsletter, which is free. Just go to our website.
Yep.
Yeah, we offered a $500 savings off the ticket, which literally was more than 30% discount, which is significant. As Alex said, it's not cheap, but again, it's manageable. It's not crazy expensive, but a $500 discount on that price tag was pretty significant. As a sponsor, we
huge.
were able to pass that on, and I know several people in our network took advantage of it, so that was great to see. I saw Kenny's comment, and before I address his comment, I want to say, I don't know if you caught this, Alex, but congratulations are also in order for Kenny. Kenny was promoted to director of natural living at Fresh Time. He announced that. So
wow.
Kenny, congratulations. I think I said no one's more deserving than Kenny. He's just such a hard worker, so well respected, and I know just truly devoted to what he does, and he's just great people and well respected. But
yeah,
Kenny flew in to attend the game in LA, the football game last week, the Buffalo game. They played the Rams, I believe, and unfortunately his team did not win, but it was a record-setting game. Record-setting game. They were really a fabulous game to be part of history there. But he flew in Friday, and I was leaving Friday. Drove back with Luke and Sasha to San Diego. Renee had flown out on Wednesday and was with my daughter all week, and so we got to spend the weekend with my daughter before flying back on Sunday. So
awesome.
Yeah, it was a great week. It was a great week, and yeah, just can't say enough about the event and just the people that were there, and highly recommend it. So
awesome. Well, and the V-Driven team was well represented there too. So beyond just the discount, you had Luke Abbott, as you said, on the panel. You were there, head first, networking.
We had 5 team members there. We had Luke, Sasha, myself, Brandon, our VP of sales, Sarah, our sales lead in the Midwest was there. So we got to go around really and touch, talk, meet. It was really a good experience for all of us. We highly recommend it. So
awesome. Now for brands that are beverage, right? Because there's BevNet, which is more beverage centered. So for brands that are beverage, stick to BevNet. Don't go to NOSH, or should you still go to NOSH? Or what's your opinion?
I mean, BevNet is what it is. I mean, it's beverage, right? So I think, if I had to choose one over the other, if I was a beverage brand, I probably would do BevNet, just because that's, again, when I think about the networking aspect and able to communicate and interact with brands in your space and or relative to the category or department, if you will, that you're in, that makes more sense to me. I mean, if I'm on a limited budget, if you can do both, I would do both, because each offers their own unique set of positives or attributes, if you will. The seminars and things, I'm sure at NOSH were different than those that were at BevNet. But certainly at BevNet, when you start talking about distribution, DSD, challenges, supply chain, all those things, I think I think BevNet has a lot of benefits for those in the space. And the other nice thing is, if you're not following those guys on LinkedIn, you could pretty much watch the entire. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, even now you can go back and watch everything on the live streams that they did.
Yep.
Of,
Yeah, the
of
YouTube
events,
or it's on their website.
I was going to
Yeah.
say on the website, I think it's still on LinkedIn, but I know Luke did a little 12 minute clip with Ray, for NOSH, for Taste Radio. And there was a lot going on there for sure.
Awesome. So safe to say you'll be back, and the V-Driven team, hopefully, I'm sure, will be back next year. And look out for maybe another potential partnership, right, where there's some kind of discount. We'll see. No guarantees, but I think it worked out really, really well for everyone. So good stuff. And it was right in my backyard.
Yep.
I wasn't able to make it, but Marina Del Rey. And then I remember attending when it was in Santa Monica at the Lowe's Hotel. So that was, I think, up until maybe 20, I don't know, I think maybe 19 or 22, they switched over. But the Lowe's Hotel, also a very nice venue. Now, one last question. How was the venue? How was kind of the lobby? How was the area, the lookout points? How was it?
I forgot one of the highlights of my trip. I rode in one of those driverless Waymo deals.
Right.
That was awesome, because I'm a tech geek and have a Tesla, and I know you do too. And it's one thing to be sitting in the driver's seat and have the car FSD, full self-drive. It's another to be sitting in the back seat. There was 3 of us in the car. The driver's seat was empty. We had somebody in the passenger seat in the front and 2 of us in the back. And we only went a mile, but it was awesome. That was very, very cool. But the venue is great. It's the Marriott Marina Del Rey. A couple of our team members actually stayed down the road at the courtyard, which was, I don't know, half a mile or so walking, which was great. Weather was fabulous, a little gray in the mornings, but then the sun came out, and it's beautiful California, as you could expect. But yeah, there's, it's a nice venue. They have it set up. It was a little chilly in the afternoon and in the evening, but it's well put together.
Cool.
Well put together. Yeah.
Awesome. I'll definitely make it out next year, especially to the BevNet. When BevNet was also at the Marriott as well, right?
I'm not sure if it was. I'm not sure. Yeah,
because it's not at the same time. Obviously, it's like
It's
the
BevNet Monday or Monday Tuesday or something, and NOSH is Thursday Friday.
Right, so it's within the same week. I'd imagine for logistics purposes, they want to have it in the same place, but I guess, I don't know. I'll look that up. Okay, so the second topic here is getting into Sprouts. I'll share what I know, but the thing is that Wade is fresh off a masterclass on Sprouts through V-Driven. He literally just came off the line for that, so it's still clicking in his brain on exactly what to do. But I can say, from a brand standpoint, I mean, you want to get into the innovation set. That's really the first thing you want to do if you can. It's a great kind of, stepping stone to getting into the full corporate Sprouts into all of their stores. And the innovation set, there's a different buyer. There's a list of buyers. We actually went to Sprouts Corporate to present to some of those buyers. And the good thing is, I mean, there's a couple good things, is you can get in on a 3-month program. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because you're the experts. So this is fact checking time. 3 to 4 months, I think, right around there. You get in. There's no chargebacks. You can go through either Pod Foods. You can go through, I guess, KeHE, but a lot of people are doing Pod Foods because it's easier to sign up. They're, easier to work with. They're more emerging brand friendly, even though, KeHE is not bad, but Pod is really, I think, catered and tailored towards kind of the younger brands that are going into Sprouts. No free fills, no chargebacks. You have a 3-month trial. If you perform at a certain level, then you get added into the main set. I will say there's a lot of upsides to it, which I listed. The downside is that you're kind of crammed, right? I'm using honest words, kind of crammed with a lot of other brands in there. And because they give a lot of brands opportunities, which is awesome that they do that. But when you're in that really tight set, and you got edible olives next to chocolate bars, next to social drinks, next to, protein powders. You have so many things in one little set. You really have to drive traffic there. You can't just rely on it being on the shelf and expecting it to move. So the brands that I've seen succeed from the innovation set to the main set is they do a lot of marketing behind it. They do a lot of social media. They do a lot of just letting people know, go out and buy it, just push, 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 push. And those are the ones that are successful. So, because if you just put it on the shelf and people are just going to walk right by it, they're probably not going to notice it. And I've seen a lot of brands not succeed because of that. So that's, to me, again, pros and cons. And the con is most probably don't make it to the main set. But what's great is Sprouts gives these brands the opportunity without a high cost to get in front, to get into 400 plus stores. And for that, I don't know any other program in the country, unless it was the old school Whole Foods, right, where they would just allow you to get in a few stores and test it out. So I like how Sprouts is really supporting the emerging brands, even though it is very competitive. So that's my say on it. Wade, and also it has to be shelf stable in that innovation set.
Good. Yeah. I think you nailed it. The one, I won't say correction, but maybe I would maybe circle and put an asterisk around it is performance and innovation doesn't necessarily guarantee you placement in the main line, because you do have two different teams working on that. You have the innovation team working on the innovation set. You have the mainline category manager working on the mainline set and making those decisions. Certainly, if you perform well in the innovation, your story to be able to make a case and a compelling story to get into the mainline set is better than if you didn't. So, but there's no guarantees. But there's no guarantees in anything. But I'd echo pretty much everything you said. What I like, and I like to put on, whether I put on my V-driven hat or my previous hat in a category manager or executive, whatever you want to say, role. What I like about what they do is what you said, is it's really approachable for emerging brands. The cost of entry is very reasonable with regards to the slotting and everything that you talked about. You kind of bypass those things. We are working with at V-driven. We are working with a lot of brands that are, whether they use KeHE, Pod is much more user friendly from a ease of entry. Again, very transparent with the fees that they have. You know what you're getting into. There's no hidden charges. Very quick as far as execution. There's not the longer setup period because of the way just their efficient model. So Pod for emerging brands is definitely a strong option. But yeah, I think from my perspective as a consumer, what I feel is that they've done a very, very good job of training their shoppers to come to that section. This regular ongoing Sprouts shopper knows that that's there. And so I heard what you said, as far as the mixed, but I'm gonna play devil's advocate as far as they have trained their shopper to come there. They know to look at that spot for innovative products. And whether it's a beverage or an olive or a chip or what have you, they know to go there to look for the latest and greatest. When I was in San Diego, I shopped the Pacific Beach Sprouts, and our daughter lives in Pacific Beach, San Diego. And V-driven has, I think, 3 or 4 brands on the innovation set currently that we've helped get in and are working with ongoing. And as you look around, you can just tell. I mean, it was shot pretty well. I think some of the other advantages we didn't talk about or you didn't touch on are that when you look at it from an emerging brand standpoint and getting into that set, you don't have to worry about any residual inventory. So you're going to get a PO for X amount of cases, whatever that number is. And certainly that's dependent on the item, the price point, the category, et cetera. It could be 1 case per item. It could be 3 or 4 cases per item, but per store, per SKU, per store. And you're going to get that PO for, I don't know, making a number up, 400 stores plus, call it 800 cases, whatever the number is. And they're going to ship out all 800 cases. You don't have to worry about them not selling, even if it doesn't sell well, which obviously wouldn't be a good thing for you and your brand. They're going to mark it down. They're going to do what they have to do. You're going to get a check for all 800 cases, as far as that goes. So you don't have to worry about that piece, which is very user friendly. And to your point, I don't know of any program of its kind that would give you all of those checks, right? As far as slotting, as far as not worrying about excess inventory, any of those things. From a marketing aspect, and again, we went through all of this just in the masterclass. It was an hour long specifically on this topic. But from a marketing aspect, there are levers you can pull, whether it's demos, whether it's socials, your own. You can do digital coupons. You can do, our friends at Social Nature sponsor the show, Aisle, things of that nature. There's different levers you can pull to help influence that data story. But I think if you're going into that set, your goal, hopefully, is to make it onto the mainline set, and that's kind of your testing grounds. You're not allowed to have TPRs, so if it's really a true proving ground for what your brand is going to do. Whether it's from my standpoint, I go back to, if you can't succeed in an innovation set where essentially you have a off-shelf display, right? You're not merchandised. If you're a coffee brand, you're not merchandised with the coffee. You have an incremental display with all these new products. And if you aren't getting the attention there, you might have some problems succeeding in the mainline set, because you've got a lot of attention, a lot of eyes, a lot of traffic going to that innovation set. So I think it's a very well put together program. From a retailer perspective, and my background that I've done for the last 20 years prior to joining V-Driven, I respect the hell out of it. I really, really do. I think it's a butt-up program. And kudos to them for taking chances on brands. They've created a vehicle and atmosphere for brands to, in some cases, whether you call it, I don't know that I'd say it's a test, because your goal should be to get in the mainline set, but essentially test your product with very, very limited risk as far as that goes. And I think that if I don't know anyone else that does anything like it. So I really, really respect the program and how they execute it, and that they continually are bringing new items in. So it's just crazy, just crazy what they do.
Yeah, 100%. Really, really well said. So I can tell you're running hot from that masterclass, an hour ago.
Ready. Well, I think I'm actually running hot from Will's
rubbing it in again.
200 milligrams of caffeine in this IQ Joe that he gave me. I mean, it's yeah.
Will, you're fired until you get me some product. You're fired. All right, but I love you, buddy. I love you, even though I'm upset right now at you. Yeah. All right, so we got some comments here from Jeff Likovsky. Well, that is amazing. They buy all the inventory without expectation of performance. It puts it on them and to make it move, which is great. So they take some accountability in the inventory away from the financial responsibility of the brand, which is awesome. So it's guaranteed check in the mail or ACH deposit for the brand. And we have Kenny, for a national retailer to implement such a program, which honestly is difficult to execute for a small chain, let alone a national one. It's admirable.
Spot on, especially when you start thinking about multiple DCs across. I don't know how many states they're in. I know at the Fresh Market we were in 22 states. I'd be shocked if Sprouts wasn't in more states than that. But you have so many DCs involved. You have all these logistic pieces, the ship, all these different things. And as Kenny hit it, I mean, he works for, I won't say it's a small chain, because it's anything but small. They have, I think, close to 70 stores now. But I know what executing a program like that would take in the 4 DCs that I worked with when I was with the Fresh Market, and I can't imagine just pushing through what they're doing. So yeah, I just respect it a lot with how they do it.
I think another valuable thing too is also the feedback that you get from your product, because I mean, the product's got to be ready to go into the store. It's got to be package ready. It's got to be buttoned up. It's got to be accurate from a legal standpoint. The formulation needs to be spot on or pretty close when you're launching in that many stores. But when you launch in over 400 stores, you're bound to get feedback from people from all over the country. I mean, they're going to be looking at your packaging. They're going to look at the website. They're going to go on your social media, and they're going to say, hey, I got this product from my Sprouts in Texas or Arizona or California or in Mid-Atlantic. They're launching in more and more communities, which is really amazing. Sprouts is. So I'm noticing there are Sprouts launching in areas that are not upper demographic, but now kind of middle. There's middle to upper and upper. That's what I've seen before with Sprouts for many, many years. But there's a place, it's not, I wouldn't say it's up low income, but it's definitely not high income, called Hawthorne, California, right around the corner from where I live. And there was, I think maybe a Vaughn's there before, or I'm trying to remember what was there before. maybe a Food for Less. I'm trying to remember, but a Sprouts is opening there, and it's right near the 405 freeway. And I was just like, holy shit, there's a Sprouts. Like, I can literally go off the freeway and go buy fucking coconut cold and Midday Squares, like right there. And usually I have to travel 3-4 miles to the coast or like south, kind of to the beach cities or somewhere, South Torrance or something, to get access to products like that. So I like how there's food deserts, right? Even within LA, that Sprouts is opening up more and more stores in those areas to find the items that are actually really good for you, great selection, but also at a low price to get the people that may not have as much money as, let's say, someone in Manhattan Beach, California or something, to afford high quality, organic, or just great items in general. So I like how Sprouts is doing that. I like how you can get feedback from so many different stores. You can go into the stores and talk to the managers. How's my product doing? What are people saying about it? So I think all in all, you get a lot of good feedback about your brand and product being in that many stores. I mean, it's when you launch in, let's say a chain of 5 stores, right, locally in LA, which it's great. You're in 5 stores. You're just not going to get the sheer feedback from enough of a sample population of people, right? So I like how you can get it from middle income, upper lower, middle lower income, I should say, people of different backgrounds, just all over the country. That's what I love most about it. But what I would recommend for any brand that is launching into the innovation set for Sprouts is to put something on your packaging to say, please tell us what you think about this product. Like, have a QR code or something, just so people can give that feedback. They can, they can easily just scan it with their phone, go onto a simple form, right? Very simple form. It takes 2 seconds of help. Name, email, feedback, because you want to get that feedback because you're constantly iterating and improving your product. And I wish when we started Genius, let me cancel this. When we started Genius, I didn't get any feedback about our turmeric coconut smoothie, which was a terrible SKU, by the way. It's healthy, but it's not going to fly in, Whole Foods nationally, right? Or even Sprouts nationally. And if I got feedback, the only feedback I got is when it got discontinued. That was the feedback I got. I wish I got earlier feedback, which is, this doesn't taste good. I don't care how healthy it is. I'm not going to buy this. It looks weird. It's yellow on the shelf and see-through. So these are all little things that brands, if they get that feedback early on, they can pivot quickly and save a bunch of money. So yeah, that's what I have to add on it.
That's great. And so you kind of queued me up, not that I need to, but I'm going to anyways plug my organization, V Driven, and that's how you can get in touch with us, is to schedule a call. But that's one of the things we do. We're working with those brands on the innovation set, so we can help you through to get into the innovation set. Not a guarantee, but we can help you with that. We can help with the data story after the innovation set to work towards the mainline set. And we had this conversation on the masterclass we just did with regards to when you think about category reviews, and typically major data driven category reviews happen once a year. If you as a brand, a broker, what have you, are waiting until the category review to touch base with your buyers, your category managers, and find out how things are, in other words, you're coming in, category review time comes up, you're already in the store, and you're coming in, and whether you have new items to add to your assortment, perhaps you want to swap or something like that, and you sit down and surprise, you're getting discontinued, maybe because you haven't had that point of contact throughout the year to touch base with your cat. How are things going? Do you need to add a promotion? Do you need to pull a promotion? Do you need to change up a promotion, make it a BOGO or something like that to help drive volume, because maybe you're not performing just the way you want to? You can't wait a year for that to happen. You have to get out there in front of it, and that's what we do. Is we're meeting with those people regularly, we're talking, we're touching, we're finding out. And so there shouldn't be any surprises come category review time. If you have and your situation obviously was a little bit different, Alex. You're looking feedback with customers and things, but as far as when you look at category reviews as it pertains to that annual cycle, man, you really have to I said this and I've said this here, I just said it on the masterclass. You really the easy part's getting on the shelf. The maintenance and work begins once you're on the shelf to make sure the velocity is there, and that applies to innovation. That applies to mainline and so on and so forth. But yeah, I think that's I could get off my soapbox with that. But I wanted to touch on Kenny's comment. As far as the Forager team, he mentions genuine folks committed to the brands, bringing new to their customers. He doesn't want to use the I word. I respect that. That I word was driven into me at the fresh market, so I completely respect that. But they're a fantastic team. If you don't know Brody and the team there, Scott Romano, that team is fantastic.
Yep.
Opening 35, 40 stores a year. Jeff says, while Sprouts may take some accountability for in-store interest sales, it still falls on the brand to make what's inside compelling enough to go back and ask for it again and again. The feedback is so valuable, let alone the payment for the product order. So well said, Jeff. And Curtis Lemonish, there he is.
Got to display
There
that
he is.
one.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Thanks, Curtis. I appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
and he's the winner, and he was the winner of the Range Me contest. So yeah, Curtis. So congratulations, buddy. Thanks for replying.
Right. And cash flow emerging brand is crucial. And again, that's what makes that program so user friendly, is that the cost of entry is so reasonable. So what else, Alex? What else should we talk about?
Well, I'd like to, not pivot away just yet from the V-driven train, because you guys are having also, you're very humble, and Luke's very humble. Maybe Luke's not as humble because he posts about this a lot. Is you have different categories that you focus on to bring in for a presentation with the Sprouts Forager team for the innovation set. I know there was the brain health products, and lemon, those two Lemonicious, right? There we go, Curtis. And then you had cereal, then you had Hispanic food. So what is kind of next in the playbook for the next few rounds with V-driven and the Sprouts partnership?
So I would clarify a couple things. One, those categories.
They're closed.
No. Well, yeah, at this point, but no, that Sprouts is dictating that. That's their thing, and
So Sprouts is passing on to you what they want to see,
what they're looking for. Yes,
okay.
and again, we just are facilitating the pitch slams. You don't have to hire V-driven to do that. You can have your own broker. Obviously, we'd love to work with brands, but it's not a requirement by any stretch of the imagination. So it's open to brands without a broker, brands with other brokers, working with us. It's open across the board. But no, they're kind of dictating what they're looking for. And so up to date, I think we've done 8 or 10, give or take, different themed based on directionally that they're looking for. And I think it's a matter of whether it's a hot button with innovation. I said the I word, Kenny, I'm sorry. Whether it's a hot button, a category they're looking for, an attribute they're looking for. We've done regenerative organics. So that was something. Cognitive health, you mentioned lemon as a hero ingredient, cereal, soda, Asian, Indian. Probably missing a couple.
What's open? What's open right now? Like what's open right now for?
I'm gonna ask Sasha and or Luke if they're still in the chat to put in if there's anything that's open right now, because I feel like there's one open, but I don't want to misstate it and speak as far as that goes. But yeah, it's again, I think it's another way that they are differentiating themselves from the rest of the space. Is looking at it, I would have liked to at several places that I've been at over the years to being able to do something like they're doing, dedicating space to new brands without data, and I think Kenny can probably relate to this. Is that when you're a data-driven company and you have limited space, your decision making is so influenced by that data story. You just can't take the chances like this innovation thing allows you to do. Certainly, they're taking chances and doing different things, but when your space is so limited, and the shelf space we had at the fresh market was as such, you just didn't have the opportunities to take risks like that. You had to really, really look at the data, look for voids in the market. Brand voids, item voids. You could look at innovation, but not to the extent that that they're playing with.
Whole other level.
Yeah,
very high level.
And it's again, there's some jealousy there from my operator days, because it is nice to be able to play like that, because it just gives you that. So Kenny, Sasha says we're closing on the cereal pitch slam today. So if you have a cereal brand You've got she's on the West Coast, so you probably have a couple hours before that's closing, and then you'll have to follow us at via our community, at signing up for our community, and or watch our post to find out what's coming up down the pipe. But Kenny mentioned, I don't know if you caught this, Alex, but he's saying, what does innovation mean to you? What is true innovation? And that could be a rabbit hole, but it might be fun to talk about. And we might have to have Kenny on for that episode, Alex, to talk a little bit about innovation. So
sure. I mean,
yeah,
he deserves to be on either. It could be expert series, master series, brands, brokers, buyers. I mean, there's so many different, topics that we can bring him in on. One thing I want to mention, just way to kind of maybe put a bug in Sprout's corporate's ear, have you, Sasha or Luke, is having maybe some kind of it would require maybe some 6-figure investment from the Sprout side, and maybe they're already thinking about this, but having an area where there's a fridge of an innovation set, and it can be an IDW, like one of those that cost at volume, if they buy like 500 at a time, let's say, for all their stores, it would cost maybe $200-300, and you can have like a shelf for each product and have like 4 or 5 in there revolving every 3 or 4 months. Have they thought about? It looks like you're about to say something, but have they thought about
they have that Fresh Find cooler that I don't
Fresh
know.
Finds.
Yeah, and I was going to say it's much abbreviated, as it should be, because if you're talking about perishable product, the window shelf life is going to be a lot shorter, so you have to move quickly. You can't let something out there for 90 days like you can for shelf stable product. But I don't know that that's in all stores, but there are some opportunities there. I see Derek saying Fresh Finds in the chat as well. So
if you're an innovation, like let's say you apply to the innovation set, can you apply with refrigerated and get into Fresh Finds or no?
No, it's a completely different conversation.
Completely different
with the category manager for dairy, and having that conversation there. So much rare, harder, because shelf space is a lot smaller. And you're talking about innovation. I don't know what the shelf. I want to say it's probably 16 feet on each side, and then the 2 ends. So you're probably talking 32, 40, somewhere between 40, 48 feet all the way around. So it's, there's more opportunity on dry than there is on the refrigerated side, but hey, it's an opportunity. So
yeah. And, there's some comments here, Fresh Finds, I will say typically seasonal driven.
Yep.
And that is exactly right. I'm seeing a lot of pumpkin spice latte stuff, a lot of holiday, desserts and things of that nature, but it's confusing, and maybe we can like have a LinkedIn post about this or talk about this in one of our next episodes, is how much of that is items that are everyday evergreen items that are just double merchandised over there. Because I've seen midday squares in there, I've seen Rebel in there, that have evergreen SKUs in the main set. Then how much of it is, so, let's call innovation, let's call it something new that's being tested, versus in all the stores. And that's where I get confused. I see about half and half. It's like half seasonal, and then every once in a while I'm like, oh, that's just a new item. And there's items I never see again, right? Like I go there and it's not seasonal, it's new. I remember seeing like a refrigerated bar, not midday squares and anything, like very, very small. And I ate it and I'm like, oh, it's good. I probably wouldn't buy it again. And I ate it, and then I came back the next week and it was gone, right? So who the hell knows? There was also a brand called Dalcy that I really liked that was in Sprouts. It was DALCI. It was like a dessert, like dessert brownies and cookies, and then they disappeared. But now there's Nowhere Bakery, which that I love.
Right.
And they've sent me stuff and not to you. So I just got to mention that as well. Just got to mention that just to get back at you in some way on the IQ thing that's going on. Will, maybe try some Nowhere Bakery strategy. Send it to me and Wade. So I'm not going to let that one go in this episode. But yeah, like Nowhere Bakery is now in the Fresh Finds cooler, because the main cooler for Sprouts, they have the fridge cooler, which is open face, which is a phenomenal location near the eggs. But the back, that back area where the dairy is, if you're a brand new item, it's hard to find new items there unless you're like shopping for dairy or milk and you stumble upon it. So Sprouts is making a lot of the right moves where they're like, we know we can't just promote shelf stable. We got to promote refrigerated. We need to find a shelf for it. And they're constantly evolving. I mean, again, I go back to it for those that missed it 15 minutes ago. they are opening in areas I never thought they would open in. And it's so awesome to see that, like to give access to people in all areas. And it's an interesting strategy, and let's see if it works for Sprouts, because usually they're in higher end areas, and now they're going for middle, different parts of the state. So
right. Yeah. And I did want to mention the whole talk about the cooler thing. I do have to give some credit, going back to my California days, to the LA Libations teams and Danny Stepper and his crew there with regards to, they were putting together some innovation coolers, where they had a program where they were putting the coolers together, funding the coolers, if you will, provided that you were using obviously their brands. And there was a rotation we were working on, and I don't know if they're still doing that program at Jimbo's, but they were trying to do just what you're saying is, here's the cooler, here's brands. Obviously at Jimbo's we had to follow very strict ingredient standards for products to get into the cooler, so we couldn't just take any of the brands that they had in their portfolio, but they worked hard to accommodate those ingredient standards and come up with brands that could support the ingredient standards, as well as brands in their portfolio, and get them in the coolers. So kudos to Danny. And so they were working on that, something along those lines, which for me, whether I'm talking about Jimbo's, the fresh market, you talk about a capital investment, you have to have the capital, and so typically, as people look at their budgets for the coming year, that's something that's worked on mid-year, and buttoned up usually by Q3, as far as what's in the capex for the following year. So when you don't have that capex to do something like that, to have a partner that would help make a program like that come to life, I thought was really cool. So that I really appreciate Danny and his team putting that together while I was in California.
Awesome.
Not sure if they're still doing that or not. I mean, obviously they're still huge in the space. I see them all over the place, but I'm not sure if that's still something they're doing currently. But I know that's something they were doing actively while I was in California. So
Yep. Well, let's pivot to the prize for this week, and also the sponsors. And there's a couple more comments here I'll just quickly read, especially the ones that are complimenting me. I need some of those on this episode because Wade's gotten so many. So we got Derek Gould, like Barbie Olipop. Yeah, I remember when it was a limited edition when Barbie came out. They had their SKU, which was at Sprouts in the Fresh Finds cooler. Curtis Knight, Lemon, they would love us. That one's closed. That innovation review from the Sprouts foraging program, but reach out to V Driven. That's my advice, because it may reopen. There might be another one because it was so successful the first time around. Always good to connect. And Wade, we'll get that link back up before the end of the episode. But And then we have Kenny Hausman. You're justifying my topic about the Fresh Finds cooler, and then blah blah blah. And then we have Curtis. Great idea. I think he's talking about the fridge
or the lemon.
Or the lemon,
fridge, or both,
or both. We don't know. Yeah. I think he's hitting 2 lemons with one smash. That's my analogy for his industry. Okay, so our sponsor for ongoing sponsors is I keep almost saying V Driven, is Range Me. V Driven's on the mind today. So Range Me, make sure to go to rangeme.com/CPG vibes, find out more about their program, how you get in front of 15,000 buyers across Target, Publix, Sprouts, Whole Foods, and many, many more. They have also live ECRM sessions. And then we also have our weekly sponsor, which is Creative Kaiju. And the prize, never even mentioned the prize because we were so caught up in all the topics.
Thought you did, but maybe not. Let's see what you have.
I started saying it, but then I shifted to the description, and now we missed it. But this is like squeezing 2 lemons with one hand. I like that. That's good. From Kenny there. So it's a 7-day. Now, Creative Kaiju, for those that missed the first part of the episode, is a design agency, offers unlimited graphic design as a monthly subscription, no contracts. It's a perfect pairing for CPG brands looking to grow. Branding and design matter, especially for CPG brands. The average designer in 2024 is about $72,000 adjusted for inflation. Agencies cost even more. When you're dealing with freelancers, it's a pain in the ass, right? You have to find the right one. So Creative Kaiju offers unlimited in-house quality design for a flat monthly fee. Perfect for a growing CPG brand. Get unlimited high-quality creatives for your growing CPG brand. Subscription starting at $5.99. Now, what's great, if you have a shitload of images to do, right, for the holidays, Instagram stuff, animated GIFs, website banners, website images, whatever you need, any creative assets, 7 days for free with Creative Kaiju, which is, I mean, Wade, if I were the winner, I would be stacking like 100, 200 photos into or images into that, designed all the way through, Thanksgiving of 2025, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, 2020. I would do them all at once. So 7 days, completely free, usually $599 a month, $599 with a 14-day satisfaction guarantee if you do decide to hire them. And it's easy. Go through the portal, create the images, get feedback. They recreate them, they iterate them until it's exactly the way you want it. So with all that said, someone will win that prize. And we do have a question. Wade, you're on IQ Mania right now. So do you have a question?
I do have one. I'm on IQ Mania and V-Driven Mania, so I'm going to which coincidentally I think I don't know if it's to the day, but it's pretty close. That I've been with V-Driven for 6 months, so happy anniversary.
Yeah, to you.
So I would say, with that in mind, I mentioned how many people from the V-Driven team attended NOSH Live last week. What's that number? And if you're a retailer, I know we have Kenny in the audience, somebody that doesn't need Creative Kaiju, you can absolutely gift it to your favorite brand or someone if you'd like. So keep that in mind. But yeah, how many V-Driven team members attended NOSH Live last week?
I really want Curtis to win this one because he's like going crazy on social media and LinkedIn with like, a lot of promotions for his product. So if Curtis wins this, he can create some even more beautiful
Curtis
images.
has had a good week. He won the Range Me. He got to talk to me this week. There's Hugh. Hugh nailed it. Sorry.
He's the Curtis. He's the grand champion of winning these things.
Sorry, Curtis. But no, Curtis had a good week. He's
got his stuff.
He's a great guy. But yeah, so Hugh, you won. You know what to do. I'm sure you can use that at your company, but if by chance you can't, you can gift it. I know who I want to donate it to. He says, he's donating. He's not even using it. He's just a selfless guy.
Who is it going to? Do you want to announce it live here? We can wait 20 seconds because we're overtime right now and Wade's hungry. It's in his eyes. He's hungry.
That's right. Listen to Jeff. Jeff, you got to step it up, buddy. Come on.
He's falling behind here. And also,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, Gavin also usually wins, but he has his hands full.
I was going to say he's probably can't. Yeah, he probably was thinking it. But do we have anybody on the show next week, Alex?
We do, and we're actually looking for one more because with the holidays, things kind of shift back and forth. Curtis,
look at that, Curtis giving it to Curtis. You got to love that.
I mean, if that's not serendipity, I don't know what is. So that's amazing right there. Hugh Curtis gave it to Curtis, and Curtis is on a roll this week. Range Me, he's got the Creative Kaiju going. I think he's going to have a Forbes top 500 company by Christmas. All right, so at least for juice with lemon in it. And by the way, his products, he sent me some, and he sent me a kick-ass black and white bag. Kind of looked like a Sephora bag in a way, but it was awesome. And I'm really good friends with him. We've been talking, phone, text, LinkedIn, and his product. Have you had it yet, Wade?
He and I talked about this a little bit, Alex, but up till now, I will just point out that up till now, you've not told us about his product. But go ahead, take the time. We're in overtime, but tell us about it because I haven't tasted it. But if everything Curtis tells me is true, it's fantastic. So I want to hear what your honest review is.
So when I first spoke to Curtis, he said to me, this will blow you away, and this will be the best juice you have ever had. And I'm not bullshitting. That was the first line out of his mouth when I spoke to him.
I believe he said it, but I want to know, what did it live up to the hype?
So I just want to preface it with that because now the expectations, it's hyped up to such a high degree. It's like to the moon, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to be over the moon about this. He sent it, and I'm trying to remember all the flavors. There was a dark purple one that was really good. Again, Curtis, I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me right now. I wasn't prepared.
I put the link up. He's got cranberry. He's got a million. He's got pumpkin spice. He's got peach. He's got pineapple. He's got strawberry, watermelon. Just go to the website and check it out. He's got a lot.
He's like kind of like juice is becoming like when you drink his product, like there's so many juice companies. There's Evolution, there's Suja, which are all great companies, but you get kind of bored of those because they've been out for so many years. These are creative these are incredibly delicious, and they kind of hit you in the face with some kind of flavor, right? Natural, and it's a juice, right? They're not putting in additives or anything weird. It's a juice, and it hits you with something very, very strong, but also very, very tasty. He also uses Turkish. You have to help me on this, Curtis. He used something from Turkey. I think Turkish mulberries are in there or something. Really, really good. Whatever, it's delicious. So long story short, because I'm belaboring this, I was in the he wanted me to drink it for the first time on FaceTime with him to see my response. That's how much he cares about people's feedback and how much they love the product and seeing a smile. And I remember I think he told me to go in order, like a flight. He's like, no, I'm not. You can't just drink anyone. You have to go in order. And here's the order to go into. He's like a drill sergeant. And I went through, boom, boom, boom. I went through 5 or 6 of them. The first one was so fucking good. I'm like, Curtis, I don't know how you can top this first one. He's like, oh, no, I will. And then I kept going, and it got better and better and better and better. And then there was like a wild card flavor, which wasn't my favorite. And it wasn't even an ingredient I usually drink, but I loved it as well. So long story short, he nailed the expectation. He hyped it up so much, and he executed on it. That's my review of Lemonicious. And I'm sure that you're going to get some online orders. Yeah, the lavender and mulberry. That's the one. Like, you never think of that combination. Like, mulberry is it's a Turkish treat, and it really comes through. I think it's pressed or something, and it's just amazing. So Wade, hopefully Curtis sends you some, and also sends you that beautiful bag, that Sephora bag as well.
Well, what I would say is I would encourage the audience that's still with us, if
still with us.
We're overtime. People, they schedule Fridays around this. It's 4 o'clock. They got to go, or 1 o'clock in your case. But what I would say is give Curtis some love. Go to his website. I put the link up. It's lemonicious.net. Order from him and let him know that we sent you to try it out. But yeah, try it out. You heard Alex's review. He's got it. I see that if you go there, I just saw a 15% off offer pop up on the screen if you put in your email and subscribe. So check it out, and maybe we can have a Lemonicious party on an upcoming episode of CPG Vibes with all the people that have ordered. So give Curtis some love.
Awesome. Very well said. I wonder if it goes good with mixed, like as a mixed drink for a cocktail. I'm sure it does.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. But listen, we are overtime, but you were starting to talk about who's going to be on the show next week.
Yes. Let's get back to that. All right. So I love it, Wade. I love how, you're just.
I'm just going to save coffee. I'm going to save coffee every week. I don't know, Alex, did I show you this already? This IQ Joe. Every week I'm going to have this.
Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. Seriously, the anger is rising. I'm going to be like Hulk by the end of this episode, right? And smash my monitor.
But I'm going to keep that. But anyways, we've got a show next week, and we've got guests.
we do. I'm actually looking up exactly what companies they're from, because again, we don't prepare for anything on the show, and including information. So we have Outside the Tank, Volume 4 next week. And we have Kent Yoshimura, who's with a Neuro Gum, I believe. You can fact check on that. And then we also have Kevin Consolo, and he is with and these are brands that have been on Shark Tank, presented on Shark Tank, went live on national television, and I'm trying to tap dance until I see Erasers. So erasers.com is the brand. He's number 1 on Amazon, 57K retailers. He was on Shark Tank, and he is the co-founder of erasers.com, which I believe is something that actually you use. We were introduced by Dude Wipes, the Dude Wipes guy, right? So Sean Riley. So this is something where if you have some marks or some dirt on your sneaker, you can erase it with this eraser.
Nice.
And you got erasers.com, which that's insane. That's such a great domain name. All right. So that is it for today's show. Will Nitsa, you know what you got to do next. You know what you got to do. I need to be IQ'd. IQ me. IQ me, Will. Come on, send it over. He's not even on this episode. I'm going to send him the link by text and be like, watch the whole episode.
Yeah, I was going to say, do that. Kenny said I showed it 3 times. I said, well, I got to show it a 4th time because it's the trifecta, but I don't think I've shown this one more than once. So this one's very good too. Yeah. So yeah.
Let's end the show. Okay. I want to have a good weekend and not an angry weekend. Thank you. Wade got the best of me on this episode, but I'll be back next week and I'll pull something on him. All right. Love you, buddy. Everyone
See
have
you,
a
buddy.
wonderful weekend. We'll see you next week, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock Eastern. Bye, everyone.